She humiliated me over a tip, so I Googled her name. What I found ended her job. It started like any normal evening. My partner and I went out for dinner at a small Italian place we'd visited a few times before. Casual but cozy, the kind of restaurant where the bread comes warm and the wine doesn't require a sommelier. Our server, we'll call her Samantha, seemed off from the start. She forgot my drink, brought the wrong appetizer, and then disappeared for 20 minutes when we tried to order dessert. No big deal, I've worked customer service. We were patient, polite, and still tipped 10% in cash. Not amazing, but not nothing either, given the service. We were getting up to leave when Samantha marched over, grabbed the tip, and said loud enough for the entire back half of the restaurant to hear. Seriously? This is it? I froze. My partner looked like she wanted to melt into the floor. Then Samantha went further. You know, servers can't pay rent because of people like you. If you can't tip properly, don't eat out. It was like someone hit pause on the entire restaurant. Even the piano music stopped. I kept my composure. I simply said, "Sorry you feel that way," and turned to walk out. But then loud and clear she added, "Whatever, cheapskates." That did it. I walked right back, reached across the table, took the tip, and left without a word. My girlfriend was stunned but supportive. "You didn't escalate," she said. "You just set a boundary." But it didn't sit right, not because of the embarrassment I've got thick skin, but because her anger felt personal, targeted, like she knew something about us that we didn't. So I did something petty. I Googled the restaurant, found their staff page. There she was, Samantha R. I found her full name on a Yelp review she'd responded to. 5 minutes later, I was staring at her personal blog, which hadn't been updated in months, but had comments. Unmoderated ones. One in particular, from someone with the same username as a local bartender I recognized, said, "Can't believe you're still serving. After the hospital incident? Unreal." Hospital? I dug deeper. Turns out, Samantha had been fired from her previous job after an investigation she'd been caught tampering with receipts, adding hidden tips to customers who didn't notice. 3 complaints, all buried. I screenshotted everything, then sent it to the restaurant manager that night with a short message. "Thought you should know what your lead server says to customers. You might want to look into her history too." The next afternoon, I got a reply. "Thank you. This isn't the first issue. Consider this handled." I wasn't looking to get anyone fired. I just didn't want to be publicly humiliated by someone with a history of dishonest behavior who dared to lecture me about rent while scamming patrons in the past. If you shout at someone for not tipping enough, make sure your digital skeletons aren't dangling in plain view. And maybe, just maybe, don't call people cheapskates when you've stolen far more from the same kind of people you now guilt trip for rent.